today should definitely be a pretty fun and interesting day. We'll see how it turns out. But for now, I just finished feeding my sourdough that my sister gave me. And we are headed out to do some checking up on the homestead. And I got a little surprise for you. We'll see how much of this we can get on camera. But babies. We have some new additions on the homestead. Big Mama Booch is giving birth. She had 6 overnight. Not last night, but the night before. 2 of them died overnight. And then there were 4 remaining. And I'm not sure how many are left in there because I really just don't want to get too close. I don't want to disturb her. And she gets very mad when you get anywhere near them. So I'm keeping my distance, kind of a what shall be, shall be. And I think probably within a week or so, we'll have a better idea of how many are remaining. I don't see any other ones that are dead, so hopefully there's still 4 left. On the agenda for today, I have to figure out how to isolate the other mama. We have 1 boar and 2 mamas, and that mama gave birth. We thought that, honestly, we thought we had like another month based on their age, but they are early to maturity, I suppose. And we have another one, the black one over there, and she is also pregnant, very obviously, but not as obviously as Booch is. So hopefully we have another week or so, and we need to build a shelter for her because we have 2 separate pens currently. And one of them we blocked off the mama as soon as we discovered that she had given birth. We blocked off her pen. So we just isolated the big boar Miso with the black mama Kiefer. But she's going to be giving birth, and I want to make sure that she has her own isolated spot. Still kind of mulling over some ideas in our heads here. Robert should be coming out probably in the next 20 minutes or so. We are going to try and hash out a plan. What I'm thinking. My first thought, because it would be the easiest, these mamas don't really need a whole lot of space at this exact moment. So what I'm thinking is this smaller pen here where Booch is, I'm just going to cut it in half basically. And then we're going to build some kind of a shelter for Kiefer in this little area here. I just cut it down right down the middle. And then we have some pallets. They're not normal pallets. They're like, I think they're 16 feet, but they could be 12 feet long. We're just gonna cut them down the middle, make some kind of a thing, and then probably run some cattle panels down the center. And hopefully that will be strong enough to keep these guys away from each other. And we'll put some like chicken wire on the bottom so the babies won't intermingle. Because with pigs, it doesn't seem survival of the species matters a whole lot. It's more survival of the litter. So they will not be too friendly with the other mama's piglets, from my understanding. So. I still need to go and let these little chickens out, and then we'll start bringing in some stuff. I am very happy to share that it looks like all 4 are in there. They're living and they're moving around. Once Mama ate all of her food, she went back in there, and I was able to kind of sneak around the back and get a little sneak peek, and I saw all 4 of them moving around. So we're good for now. So I was able to get her shelter completed. I got the roof cap on there. Now I just need to clean up the rest of the tools, clean up myself. It feels so gross after working in a pig pen. And then I'll just be out here kind of checking on them throughout the day. They seem to have settled into a nice routine with each other. Hopefully Kiefer doesn't try and go in Booch's little enclosure there with her 4 little babies again. And we'll just see if she decides to go ahead and start nesting inside of the shelter that I built for her. We may have to move it because we didn't realize until after we'd already put it in place that there was some poo there. I know that pigs will not shelter or do not poo in their shelter. So at least there's that. So hopefully she'll end up going in there. If not, then we'll just have to move it around to a different place inside the enclosure. Still waiting on word as to whether or not we have to completely isolate them from one another. Because I was watching some videos earlier today, and it made me think that it is okay to keep them in the same pen, but with separate homes. So I'm going to do a little bit more research. I've asked a couple of other people, so we'll kind of see how that works out. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll find out. I would like you all to meet Timothy. This is my sourdough starter sent to me by my sister over in Hawaii. And yesterday, it had its inaugural run, and I'm so excited. I made a loaf of sourdough. We're going to make the same one together today. So I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form, not even close to it, I am barely versed in sourdough, but I really want to get a lot better at it. My sister is a lot better at it. I had a sourdough starter that I dehydrated, but that was like 9 or 10 months ago, and I did not know that I needed to keep it in the freezer or that I should keep it in the freezer, so it didn't really reconstitute very well. And my sister was amazing, and she sent me her sourdough starter. I have renamed my batch of sourdough Timothy. She is the only one who will understand why I named it that, and I'm going to keep it at that. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves 2 loaves of sourdough because I want to try something, okay? The recipe that I made yesterday was absolutely fantastic. It's nice and bubbly and delicious, absolutely delicious, but I want to try this same recipe as I made it before, but I want to try it also with just some standard regular all-purpose flour because all-purpose flour is really cheap and I don't want to have to keep buying bread flour, but the recipe calls for bread flour. So I'm going to try it with both bread flour and just standard organic AP flour and see if we can get at least similar results. I don't have a really large selection of bowls and kitchen stuff, so we're gonna see if we can get this thing to mix together in this bowl. We'll make these guys separate just so it makes it a little bit easier. We have a fully fed starter. Oh, I should probably have the recipe, shouldn't I? I don't have this one memorized just yet, but I'm getting the recipe out of Artisan Sourdough, and I am making the everyday sourdough. And it calls for 50 grams of starter. It's a lot less than you would think it would be. And this is fully fed. I fed it this morning. Y'all saw that with me before we were taking care of all the pig stuff. And 350 grams of warm water. And I'm gonna mix it up here in the water. And then add in 500 grams of bread flour. I think we can make it work. Oh, and we need salt. Give it a nice mix. Hopefully we don't overflow the bowl. It says to mix until a shaggy dough forms and then finish mixing with your hands until the flour is fully incorporated. But I also had a bigger bowl. It's in the sink, so I can't use that. Oops. I think you just mix it in with the water so that all the fermentation in the yeast gets spread evenly. Give it a little mixy mix. Cover it with a damp towel and let it rest for half an hour. It's been about a half an hour, and I was perusing through the book, through kind of the general instructions that it has in there. This is what the author calls a modified autolyse. Basically just a way to let the dough rest, to let the flour hydrate, And here we are. So, and all you do is you kind of stretch it out and kind of work the gluten. I don't know if it's been a full half hour. I didn't set a timer. I just did the dishes. So we're just gonna kind of pull it. Kind of stretch it out. I know a lot of sourdough recipes call for you to do this like every half hour or so, but this recipe just calls to do it one time and then you let it rest. Or you let it bulk ferment. Definitely a different texture with this one. Very noticeable. I might have just gotten my answer, but we'll find out. As promised, it's been kind of a busy day here on the homestead, and it's about time for me to wrap everything up. We're quickly losing light. I need to go outside and give the pigs an extra feeding, lock up the birds. So I'm just gonna let this sourdough rise, and I wanna remind everybody that Thursday, the day after tomorrow when you guys are seeing this, is the very first day of Fermented February. I'm super excited. I filmed the first video for Fermented February today as well. You didn't see that, but that's part of why my day was so busy. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for that. Lots of cool announcements and a very super delicious fermented recipe. I'm gonna be baking these off tomorrow, but you guys are gonna see it in Saturday's vlog. So I hope you guys enjoy, and peace out, sauerkraut.